If you want to help out and support the channel, there are a few things you can do. Go check out Flipside Gaming and use the promo code VOIDMAGE in all caps. This will get you 10% off all orders $10 or more. And if you go shopping on tcgplayer.com, go use my affiliate link in the description below. That way all purchases you make will go towards helping the channel. And lastly, go check out my Patreon. It's a more direct way that you can help the channel while also getting some more interaction. I appreciate all of your support. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Hey everybody, looks like we have some spoilers for Theros Beyond Death. Not a bunch of them, but a taste. And so far we have some interesting stuff to go over. We have the two Planeswalkers from the set, Ashiok Nightmare Muse and Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. Ashiok looks pretty good. Like before with the previous Ashiok, you can exile cards and then eventually play them. It was very slow, which in a commander game, it can take a lot of time in between turns. But on the +1, you can create a 2/3 blue and black Nightmare creature token, and whenever it attacks or blocks, each opponent exiles the top 2 cards of their library. The -3 can return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then force that same player to exile a card from their hand, so it does have a chance of being that card. The ult is pretty good. -7, you may cast up to 3 face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana costs. And the Elspeth Sun's Nemesis I think is pretty tame for commander, but probably going to have a bigger impact in standard and pioneer maybe. No pluses, up to 2 target creatures you control each get +2/+1 until end of turn, that's the -1. Or you could create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens on her -2, and her -3 just lets you gain 5 life. But there is an escape cost here, which does give you some added value if you could just replay it from your graveyard. It is 6 mana, and you have to exile 4 other cards from your graveyard in order to do this. Nothing super powerful though for commander, unfortunately. And we will see 2 more, but those are from the dual decks, and I'll talk about those last. Theros Shroud Veiled is going to be the buy a box promo, and I don't think we're going to see all 15 of the gods from Theros. We're probably just going to see the ones that are more pertinent to the story, like Heliod, Erebos. I mean, I'm not going to make any guarantees because we don't know everything yet, but I would imagine Xenagos is probably among the qualifying gods. He's a pretty cool 6 mana enchantment creature this time, instead of just the 3 mana. It has the same condition. He's not a creature if you have less than 7 devotion to white and black. Still indestructible though. At the beginning of your end step, you put a coin counter on another target creature, and whenever a creature with a coin counter on it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control, which is really nice. It's kind of like Kaya's ghost form. A lot of good removal in commander is going to exile, and not just that, but you have graveyard hate, things like Kalidas where your creatures are not allowed to die, they're not allowed to hit the graveyard, so even if they're exiled you still get this trigger and you get the creature back, so that's a huge upside. We also get a look at the full art basic lands, which look amazing. I know this isn't technically land, they're constellations, but it still looks pretty sweet. And then after that we have a new Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. He's a legendary enchantment creature demigod, which is a new creature type. His toughness is equal to your devotion to white, and whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain a life. So he's like a super soul warden. Also counts for death triggers, which in a lot of those decks, like with the old Athreos, you saw a lot of themes with aristocrats and life gain. It does go really well together. We see the return of sagas with the Akruan War. You could gain control of target creature for as long as the Akruan War remains on the battlefield. The second lore counter, until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able. And then the third lore counter, each tapped creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So this is about as red as any card could be. Forcing combat is very underrated in commander, and you've probably seen a million active trees and effects. We get another enchantress card in Citizen Champion. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on her and you draw a card. One of the things I do like about Theros as a plane is that it's enchantment focused. We've had Mirrodin, we have had Kaladesh, where the entire focus was all about artifacts, and it just turns out being incredibly overpowered. Enchantments I don't think have that problem, and you have some nice synergy here. And the last thing I want to talk about are the 2 Planeswalkers from the dual decks. Thankfully, we are probably not going to see any more of these, as the product focus is going to be more on commander, and you get that impression by looking at these cards: Elspeth, Undaunted Hero, and Ashiok, Sculptor of Fears. Just look at Elspeth. Vertical pose, straight right arm, clenched fist at an angle. It is clear that Wizards are about as interested in this product as we are, because this just looks awful. What is she supposed to be doing? Is she going to get in a fist fight? She has a spear. I will say, however, that this version of Elspeth is probably better than the other one for Commander. Her +2, you put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Her -2 lets you search up a Sunlit Hoplite, which, as of the making of this video, we have not seen that yet. And her -8 is kind of like Elspeth Sun's Champion, which is probably the best mono white planeswalker. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain flying and +X/+X, where X is your devotion to white. Really cool that we see focus on devotion that isn't just with the gods. Ashiok, Sculptor of Fears, 6 mana. +2 is draw a card. Each player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. -5, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. And the -11 is gain control of all creatures target opponent controls. Again, it's very hard for planeswalkers to stand out. That's a problem we have already, but with these dual deck planeswalkers, I just don't really see anything about them that screams buy this product. And I don't like singling out artists, and I'm not singling out this artist by any means. But you see this all the time now in cards where it's just action figure pose, straight up vertical, not very interesting. But anyway guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think of the Theros spoilers. Theros Beyond Death is coming out late next month to start off the new year. It's looking really weird, the 2020 at the bottom of the cards, I can't believe it. You have a wonderful day, Void here signing off. See you all next video. Just wanted to say thanks to the patrons who are supporting me on patreon.com. Go check it out. There are different tiers with their own rewards. One of them is having your name in the credits of my videos. I know it's not much, but it's something that I can do to show my appreciation. Thanks again, and have a good day.